This is where the dev ended up at. What I've been running is I ran this torturer submachine gun. I don't ever run a submachine gun on my dev. I don't have any mods on my dev to make a submachine gun do more damage. But what I do use is Fortress. And since I got flesh render and dimensional rockets, which is just insane, dimensional rockets proc every 2 seconds and cause 2 million damage. Flesh render is also ticking damage because it's creating spikes. So if I see a big boss, I shoot it with a couple bullets. Proc dimensional rockets, that's a 2 mil. Flesh render, the spikes are tearing the boss up, and then I come in with the boom boom bang special and the boss falls over. Obviously you might not have some crazy shit like this, so we're just gonna go back to old school. A lot of devs use something to where they swap to a weapon, they proc this on reload, and then they swap to another weapon and they shoot a couple shots to proc Shadow Comet Claymore or something damage over time. You can run Guillotine too, because Guillotine can get Radiant Splash with Moaning Winds, just like the Animoid does. But again, the reason I'm running this is because it is an Apocalypse weapon and it's cheaper to upgrade. Upgrade is a big problem. So you're going to run into that a lot. Upgrade materials, it's very, very difficult to upgrade stuff. So make sure you save blues and purples if you want to. Where my dev builds at, these are kind of the mods I'm at. I always run Despair because I have enemies within damage radius of Gravity Leap will receive 2 times more anomaly damage for 5 seconds. So not only am I hurting them with my Gravity Leap, but they're going to take some damage. This new Thunder's Legacy that drops on this Descendant helmet, this is nuts. This is my 3rd most damage all night, every run. This is always 3rd most damage, and it's literally just a mod. When enemies come near 10-meter radius of you, they get shocked with 749,000 damage every 8 seconds, and it changed the 3 enemies. Every 8 seconds, the whole mission you're running. This is averaging right underneath Moaning Winds, probably like 2 to 3 mil. So it's absolutely busted. As you see, my 3rd perk, Golem, it increases my skills duration by 50%. Not the best mod, but we're working on it. This was my old helmet, so I switched it out. I just ran Bloodshot with Despair. This is the old build that I had when I first started the game. Obviously you see that's the anomaly, cooldown, and status power. Those are like the 3 main perks of a Devastator you want to pay attention to: anomaly, cooldown, and status power. But when I seen this helmet, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna lose my status power because I got healing on this helmet, but I want this Thunder's Legacy. I wanted to try out new stuff today. Well, that's kind of where we ended. I did get a Seismic Commander's Armor chest piece, Apocalypse. It does have anomaly, status, and cooldown, but again, I got screwed on the 3rd perk. It does have Boulder's Dash. Bloody Boost used to be 15% to your bleed damage. It's now 8. I have it on for now. It might change. Earth's Legacy, it increases the skill range by 60%, meaning when you slam the ground with your Earthquake, the cone that it can reach is increased by 60%. A huge mod. Huge important mod. Seismic Commander leg armor. Okay, I did get one that was Apocalypse, but it was terrible, so I deleted it. As you see here, Tainted Blood, a tier 3 bleed mod. Increased damage dealt to enemies afflicted with bleed by 16%. Used to be 25, they nerfed it. Double Jump, that is a tier 3 mod. Gravity Leap can be used twice before triggering the cooldown. It's nice to have that double jump. I used to run an Impale build. You're gonna see a lot of Impale builds, but like the reason why I like Gravity Leap is I can leap around the map and I can get away from my teammates. You know, if I'm playing by myself, it's a good way to get away from ads and like starting to train them and then run around in circles and ground smash. If you're playing with teammates, you're on the other side, you can clear out ads, you guys aren't battling, you're not stealing their rounds, you're not busting up their Trickster or their Techno bullets, you know what I'm saying, the blighted rounds. But yeah, it's nice, and if your team needs help, you jump over. But again, I'm a big fan of the Impale build. It's just Impale, I like keeping these mods on because the 16% you get from Tainted Blood, the 8% you get from Bloody Boost stacks with the whole Commander set. Increased damage towards your bleed, 50%. Then you get another 8% by Bloody Boost, and then another 16. So you're at a 74% buff without doing anything. 74% damage against all bleed, just with that on. Now you can move to gauntlets. You can run the Seismic Commander gloves, but look, max health, status power, skill leech. I didn't like those mods, so I go with a anomaly, close range, and cooldown. These were my old ones, perfectly rolled. Anomaly, status, and cooldown. I had these, but I was sick of leveling up. So they were both having tier 1 mods. These are 2 tier 1 mods, so it was really easy to make a copy of them. I got sick of leveling them up because the materials cost so much. So I ended up getting a pair of gloves that had Ground Crush on them, and I switched the mod out. So Ground Crush is huge. It increases your skill base by your Ground Crush by 210%. Now watch, it's just like these other ones. Everything you upgrade, just like the mod, when I upgraded this to 58, this scaled. Now watch what it's going to do here. You level up. It's going up 30k, okay? That goes up. That's going to make my damage go up. So if I was to look at my build right now and I wanted to scale my damage up, well, there's a few things. You know that Moaning Winds and Radiation Splash is going to do more damage when you swap to it if you level that up. Same thing with this weapon, because it's going to go up. That 509,000 is going to go up. So before I start leveling up pieces, I look at stuff that's really going to scale my damage. So I know that I'm going to use a lot of earthquakes, so I would level this up. So I'm just going to do it now just for testing purposes, just to show you. I know that I do a lot of earthquakes throughout my runs, so I'm going to level this up. I'm going to take this to a higher so I can get that extra damage. And I'm not going to be able to do this much because I don't have enough materials. Again, ammo poverty, it's tough. But this would be the next thing I would level up. I just wanted to show you. So again, back to the build. Very, very, very mod heavy. These were my old boots, the Seismic Commanders. I ran the second Quake because the second Quake stacks with extra Quake. So it gives you 3 Quakes, 3 smashes. It's insane. And I put on Captain Hunter. Captain Hunter used to be 25%. They dropped it down to 16. And increases your damage against elites by 16%. Kind of something you need. Elites will kick your ass. So I got a pair today of Apocalypse one, and again, Equator. I don't use Reflect bullets. I used to use Reflect build when I first used to farm the demo, but I'm not using it anymore. But it had second Quake on them, so I just swapped that middle mod out and put Captain Hunter on. The reason why, it's cheaper to upgrade the Seismic Commander Apocalypse. I want to keep upgrading my stuff. I just hit the next tier, so I'm 58, but everything on me is 57. So I'm pretty good right now. This is very, very expensive. A very expensive build to keep leveling up. I am running out of material non-stop. I wouldn't run out if I took this stuff off. If I took this stuff off and just put on blues and greens and did stuff with teammates, that'd be fine. But your whole build is taken away when you lose all those mods. So there is cheap bleed builds. Everything I just went over, I know it's a lot, but there is cheap Devastator bleed builds. You can use bleed stuff. You can use different mods if you don't have the certain mods. But again, Golem is just your protection, but you can also use Reflect bullets if you want. I use Earthquake and Gravity Leap, but some people are using Earthquake with Impale. We're going to go over the PAX points real quick. I'm actually going to pull this down. So I chose, obviously, this impact point. I went with Puncture over Obliteration. Why? Because this gives you your seismic skills inflict bleed. This was huge. Puncture was huge for that. And this mod right here, Earth and Shell, is what makes Devastator the most broken class in the game. Me personally, I think right now, just because of this. If this doesn't proc when you use your abilities, like you don't see an overshield above your super bar, your health bar, sorry, just reset this tree and reselect it. I was using this middle tree, but then chat told me about this combo, uphill and multi-strike. So what happens is 30% of your damage dealt by your seismic skill is stored and added to your next skill. That is 3 earthquakes that I have, so it stacks and it's stored. And this is how you do 9 to 10 million crushes to the ground with your earthquakes. It's insane. The sanctioned points, I went full anomaly power and anomaly damage because that's what the build is based off of. And I started working on cooldown and also damage against elites. So I hope me going over this build kind of helped you. This is where it's at right now. I'm going to be obviously trying to make it better and make it perfect, and then we'll move on to the other classes. But thanks for watching. Sorry, I'm back again. I forgot to tell you guys some big problems with the day one grind. This is a problem, your anomaly extract and your drop pod resources. We really haven't found a farm, okay? Now, you can go and do the trial nonstop and farm that apocalypse tier, no problem. But you're gonna run into problems of farming resources. Now, I was playing with a fire team. We were doing the Eye of the Storm.
One absolute banger, Keck.
Absolute banger by the resub by Egan. So we were doing Eye of the Storm farms. We would insta-melt the boss. It wasn't bad because the reason why this farm is pretty good is because, one, your teammates will have to, you know, rotate on who's getting what. But once you beat the Eye of the Storm, you actually get a choice of a legendary. So once you beat the legendary, once you beat it, you get a choice of a legendary, then you get some juice. And this gives you a lot of options on, you know, what choices you have at the end. Also, when you farm this and you get to the end, you can actually kill that boss, just run to the end, go straight through it, kill every boss, get to the last boss. And when you beat the boss, when you kill him, hit return to lobby. And then once you go to the lobby, just load back in. It'll say, you know, enter the trial. And you can kill the boss 4 times in the end, and then you'll be done. But you get to farm him 4 times. You only get to farm him 4 times if you don't mess up before that. So make sure you're being careful. Other than that, to farm armor and farm stuff, there is a quest step. There is a way. If you do the hunts. So if you do this hunter right here, if you do this step and you do these hunts and you find these beasts, you can go kill 2 beasts real quick and get about 8,000 drop pods and die. But it's the most boring thing ever. I mean, you literally kill 2 beasts and you die. 2 beasts and you die. But again, some people might have to do that. There's going to be farms. There's going to be crazy ways to do it. But again, it's just a little tough. So what I've found to do is just find ways to get this apocalypse gear because it's cheaper to upgrade, but you're gonna run out of sombreros right here, so it's really hard. You got to delete the shit. So other than that, I'm sure there's plenty of videos out there to find farms for all your materials, but you need to understand that, you know, everything's different, and you know, I'm all about like doing everything at once. So it's like I could be doing expeditions, or I could be doing this trial and leveling my account up, leveling gear, getting better gear, and also getting materials that I want, or go sit somewhere and just farm it over and 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 over, and you're only working on one thing at a time. So it's kind of like, shit kind of sucks. So again, other than that, I really don't know what to tell you, but again, day one vibes, I'm feeling it. It's just the materials. The materials are a big problem. I know they were talking about it on early access, and people were saying it was going to be a problem. But other than that, I mean, it was a little rough on the right off the bat. The servers were a little, you know. But we got in and we got to slay. I can't wait to discover more mods, and obviously, you know, I think I don't know what I'm gonna go to next. I might go to Pyro, because I know Trickster is very mod dependent, and I really don't want to grind for a whole bunch of mods, and I feel like Techno's just going to be like Devastator. It's going to be easy mode. So might go to Pyro. We'll see. But yeah. Other than that, other than the materials, I think you'll enjoy the grind. Just find some, hopefully there's some broken way that we find that we can just farm these. I've sold about 500,000 titanium today just for drop pods. I would just come right here and I would sell it. Yeah, it's just insane, you know, how much I've been selling my titanium for drop pod resources. It was you know, it's a problem, and I'm just hitting 58. Like, I just got to 58. I got to go all the way to 75, and to get this many materials on each class, it's a lot. So we'll see what they do with it. But other than that, other than resources, I think you'll enjoy it. Farm the boss. Do the trial. Definitely find ways to farm the trial. Try and find routes that you can go in and you can target farm, because look, it says right here boots, it says gloves, helmets, pants. Target farm, enjoy it. You could definitely do it solo, or you could do it with teammates, or if you don't have anybody, matchmaking right here, chilling. So other than that, we're gonna leave it at that, and yeah.